Hello and welcome to another episode of Project Zomboid. This is the third tutorial we'll be doing, set in my snowy Phoenix base, and will centre on weapons crafting. Weapons crafting is the first thing that I do when I start a new game, and this will be covering weapons created in the Hydrocraft mod. The only real weapons that you can craft in the base Zomboid game are the stone hammer, the wooden spear, and the stone axe. So Hydrocraft adds a lot of new weapons that you can create, ranging from simple makeshift knives like the one that I'm using, all the way up to swords, battle axes and halberds, and of course firearms. We're going to focus on the most simple weapons today, starting with this knife and then moving up to ranged weapons. The first thing that you do when you spawn is look for an axe and saw. Axes and saws are most commonly found inside warehouses and stores. Being in the south end of Phoenix, we're near a store complex. You can tell a store when you walk in that it will usually have a large amount of shelves, metal shelves such as the one that we're looking at here. This tells you straight away that it's a store, and you can find a saw in any of these metal shelves, also in these wooden crates that you see here. These crates are also found inside warehouses. So we'd look through here to locate a saw on the first day, if you're fortunate enough to spawn near this area or have run down from the north of town. Once you've found a saw, hopefully you can find yourself an axe as well. Axes can, as I said before, be found on dead zombies, but are easier to find in one of these stores. These shelves will contain either a standard axe that you find in the base Zomboid game or a survival axe. For simplicity's sake, I'm carrying both of these axes. This is the standard axe that comes with Project Zomboid. It's the most hardy of the axes and also the most heavy. The survival axe is the smaller, lighter axe, which we can see here. It's approximately a third of the weight of the axe. It's also quite weak and it can't be repaired. These are almost always found on dead zombies and can also be found in crates and metal shelves like the normal axe. The next thing you want to do is head out to a tree or a forest area. You want to kill everything on the way there so that you've got a straight walk back to your base. And then cut down the tree and take the wood. You can see here that we've already cut down the tree. If you wanted to cut down on a new map and you had no trees cut down, you quick the axe in both hands by right clicking on it. This will give you the greatest power in your swing and cut the tree down as fast as possible. We'll cut down this tree. We should have 4 logs. We obviously have more because we've been cutting down some wood in our previous episodes. Assuming that you don't have a pack dog or a large backpack, you can carry 4 logs in your inventory, which is what we're going to do here. This severely slows your character down, and if you don't have an upgrade to your sprinting skill, it will actually force you to walk. You also want to pick up any tree branches that you find on the ground. I'm going to grab a couple for the purpose of making some extra weapons, which we will do later on. Note that my character is very overweight. He's carrying 4 big logs, so he's quite slow. And this is another reason why you want to clear a exit path between where you're working from and your base, so that you can safely deliver the wood back. Wood has several uses, and even if we didn't need to create some wooden stakes for weapons, among other things, I always keep a few stacks of it handy, because it's useful for building a quick barricade and for expanding your base by building extra walls and floors. Always recommend that you make some wooden pallets as well and fill those with logs, so you've always got spare wood lying around. It's one of the most useful materials in the game, and without a saw and an axe it's very hard to come by though. So we've made it back to base. We're now going to saw these logs into planks, and we'll be able to use these planks to begin crafting all of our desired weapons. So I'm going to saw these logs. You can right click on the log pile and select saw. Each log gives you 3 planks. We have 12. The next thing you need to do is to create the first weapon, and the most simplest, which is the wooden stake. To make a wooden stake you need your saw, which we already have because we cut the logs into planks, and you need a knife. Knives are most commonly found in kitchens. You can also use one of the Hydrocraft knives like the jackknife or the combat knife. You just need a knife of some sort. In a pinch you can also use the machete. The kitchen knife is quite easy to find and is pretty common, so that's what we're going to use. It's the easiest to find. You just find it in any kitchen area or shop, a food shop, or you can also find it on zombie corpses. All of these knives were found on dead zombies. Now, with the plank and the knife and the saw in your inventory, right click on the planks or on the knife, and you'll have an option to craft wooden stake. We're going to make 1. Each plank makes 2 wooden stakes. We have 2. Now, to further increase the durability of a stake at the start of the game, you can harden the tip. And to harden your stake, to make it more durable, all you need is a light, which ignition source, which will be either the lighter, which I'm carrying, or a pack of matches. These are most commonly found in shops, and the highest probability to find these is in a gas station, where you'll find many lighters and many matches. I haven't looted the gas station in my walkthrough, so I only have a few lighters. I won't actually be making any hardened stakes because I've only got a couple of lighters left. Right click on the lighter or on the wooden stake and you'll have the option to harden wooden stake. When you've hardened the wooden stake, it will take about 30 seconds. You'll get a hardened wooden stake, which we can see here. The hardened wooden stake has stats nearly the same as the standard knife. It will kill zombies in one shot at close range, and it also is a lot stronger than the knife. It will last longer. On average, you can kill around 50 zombies using one stake, so having a couple of those in your inventory on the first few days will probably do you. The next weapon we're going to make is a club. we need the planks that we cut up earlier. The other thing you need is a blunt maintenance skill of at least 1. You can get that by killing zombies with blunt weapons like baseball bats. We can see here I have a blunt skill of 3. You need twine. Now twine's just thin rope. You can find that in a warehouse similar to where we were looking for the axe and the saw. But it's the easiest way to get lots of twine in Hydrocraft is to forage. If you forage and find grass or straw and you find 3 units or more, you can right click on the grass or straw and make twine from them. That's what we've done here. We have 1 roll of twine. We also have some planks here. The last thing that you need is glue. Glue is most commonly found again in warehouses. You can also make glue, but we'll be doing that in another episode. Right click on the glue and it will give you the option to make a crude club. So to make a crude club you need 2 planks, some glue and some twine. You also need the saw, but you'll keep that of course. We're going to make it now. Done. Now it's consumed our glue and some of our twine, half of our roll of twine, but we now have a crude club. The club is equivalent of the rolling pin. It won't last very long, but it does have a critical hit damage against zombies if they're on the ground. Highly recommend the club as a main weapon with a backup of having a few sharp knives. Never leave home without one. They're very easy to get. The hardest item you're going to have trouble getting at the start of the game is glue. So if you see any glue or any wood glue, always pick it up. The next weapon we're going to be making is a sling shot. To make a sling shot you need 4 rubber bands. Rubber bands are most commonly found in postal offices. You can also find rubber bands in warehouses, similar to the one we went to find the axe in. You'll usually find the rubber bands in boxes, and the boxes contain 100 rubber bands. Always pick these up, they're very useful. The other thing you'll need apart from 4 rubber bands to construct the slingshot is you will need a glue. Now the good thing about the glue is that you don't need to use a standard glue. You can also use a hot glue gun. A hot glue gun is just basically a gun where you can load a cartridge of hot glue and apply that immediately. You can use the hot glue gun to make a slingshot. You can see that we've loaded the hot glue gun with a glue stick. We right click on the glue gun and then we'll have the option to craft a slingshot. So that will combine 4 rubber bands, 1 tree branch, which you remember that we got from the last episode, and some, I think that's it. Yeah. Apologies. So the ingredients for that are a source of glue, which can be either tar, standard glue, or a hot glue gun. We have a hot glue gun. You need a branch. We picked up a branch when we were out chopping down the trees. And the rubber bands. These are the hardest thing to find. Office buildings are your best bet, as well as warehouses. You'll find them in boxes of 100, which will allow you to make a few dozen of these weapons. The next weapon we're going to make is a longbow. The longbow is made by using one of these tree branches and either some twine or a bungee cord. I always keep the bungee cord and use twine because we have plenty of it. Right click on either the glue gun or the branch, and you'll have the option to make a longbow. At the moment we're not foraging any feathers, so making arrows will be hard to put into this tutorial. But for the moment we've covered the main weapons that you'll need in the Hydrocraft. The main weapons that are available to you thanks to the Hydrocraft mod. So in summary, we've made a makeshift knife, which is a wooden stake, a wooden club out of just some planks and nails and a little bit of glue, and a Sling Shot, which will allow you to get your aiming skill up, even though at the start you're not going to be able to hit very much. So there are some advanced weapons we can make, like swords, axes, halberds, and also guns. We're going to go into those in another episode though. These are the 3 major weapons that you'll be using when you start the game, especially stakes. They're easy to find and always good to carry a couple. In our next episode we might go into more advanced weapon crafting, but that depends on whether I can level up my carpentry skill and get a mine. When we can do that, we'll be able to get stones and metals, and we'll be able to start making better weapons. Until then.